In this video, we have compiled our top picks for the best phones under 15,000 rupees that you can buy in India right now. Realme has released some really good smartphones this year, and the Realme 3 Pro was one of them. This smartphone not only offers great battery life but also good performance. In our review, we found the Realme 3 Pro to be capable of providing solid performance. It is able to run heavy games and also handles multitasking very well. Landscape shots taken in daylight exhibit good detail, but they do lack some sharpness. Also, taking low light photos is a bit tricky with this phone as it tends to reduce the shutter speed considerably. This smartphone ran for 14 hours and 13 minutes in our HD video loop test, which is quite decent. Realme 3 Pro is offered in 3 different variants in the country, which is 4GB RAM with 64GB storage, 6GB RAM with 64GB storage and 6GB RAM with 128GB storage. All the 3 variants are available in this price segment, and we recommend going for the top end variant to get the best performance. The Redmi Note 8 Pro is the successor to the Redmi Note 7 Pro and is a great option for anyone looking to buy a smartphone for under 15,000 rupees. This smartphone offers good performance without any lag or stutter, and the battery life is also decent. The 4500 mAh battery on the phone lasted about 14 hours in our HD video loop test. Imaging is another area where the Redmi Note 8 Pro shines. Photos taken in daylight came out sharp and had good detail. Even in low light situations, the photos captured exhibited a decent amount of detail. Additionally, the smartphone's display is vivid and bright enough for outdoors. Xiaomi sells 3 variants of the Redmi Note 8 Pro in the country, which is 6GB RAM with 64GB storage, 6GB RAM with 128GB of storage and 8GB of RAM with 128GB of storage. Now only the 6GB RAM with 64GB storage variant is available within this budget, but it is still one of the best options that you can find in the market right now. The Nokia 7.1 is a relatively old smartphone, but it is still a good option for anyone with a budget of 15,000 rupees. It was launched at 19,999 rupees and has since had multiple price cuts. The Nokia 7.1 features a great display with vivid colors and good viewing angles. The slightly dated Snapdragon 636 SoC doesn't impact its real-life performance much, and the smartphone offers smooth and consistent performance. The dual rear camera setup takes crisp and detailed shots with vivid colors. Low-light images taken with the Nokia 7.1 also come out looking decent with good amounts of detail and minimal noise. Additionally, this smartphone ran for 9 hours and 30 minutes in our HD video loop test, which is quite average but expected given its relatively small 3060 mAh battery. HMD Global sells the Nokia 7.1 in a single configuration in the country, which is 4GB of RAM with 64GB of inbuilt storage, and you can easily find this smartphone for under 15,000 rupees. The Realme 5 is one of the newest models on this list, and we generally had a good experience with this smartphone. Even while playing heavy games, it performed without issues. The 5000 mAh battery is a major highlight of the smartphone, and it ran for an impressive 22 hours and 31 minutes in our HD video loop test. The Realme 5 has 4 rear cameras, but the primary camera's performance didn't blow us away. Shots lack detail in distant objects. Low light imaging is another area where the smartphone struggles, but close-up and portrait shots did look quite good. Realme sells 3 variants of the Realme 5 in the country, which is 3GB of RAM with 32GB storage, 4GB of RAM with 64GB of storage and 4GB of RAM with 128GB of inbuilt storage. We recommend that you go for the 4GB RAM plus 128GB storage variant. The Xiaomi Mi A3 is a good option for those who don't like MIUI, because this phone is a part of Google's Android One program and runs on stock Android. The Xiaomi Mi A3 offers a premium design and good build quality, but the HD Plus resolution screen isn't great at this price level, even though it's an AMOLED panel. This smartphone doesn't disappoint on the performance front, and we did not face any lag or stutters. Battery life is good and the phone ran for 16 hours and 21 minutes in our HD video loop test. The camera shines in many situations but does struggle on the HDR front. The photos taken in daylight have good amounts of detail and the phone is able to lock focus quite quickly. Low light images also come out good, but you will need to be a little patient. Xiaomi offers two variants of the Mi A3 in India, which is 4GB of RAM with 64GB storage and 6GB of RAM with 128GB of storage. You can get the 4GB RAM variant of the smartphone in this price segment. Realme 5 Pro is the more powerful version of the Realme 5 and it sports a more premium design. The phone's general performance did not disappoint us during our review and it zips through day-to-day tasks without any issues. Battery life is decent as the phone lasted for 12 hours and 41 minutes in our HD video loop test. On the camera front, the Realme 5 Pro includes a 48-megapixel primary shooter that takes sharp photos with good color balance in daylight. The wide-angle shooter is average and is only useful for situations where you really need it. Realme sells three variants of the Realme 5 Pro in the country, which is 4GB of RAM with 64GB of storage, 6GB of RAM with 64GB of storage and 8GB of RAM with 128GB of storage. You can get the first two variants of the smartphone in this price segment. The Vivo Z1 Pro turned out to be a great smartphone to hype the company's online-only portfolio. This smartphone sports an eye-catching glossy design with a gradient finish. In our review, we found the Vivo Z1 Pro to be packing enough power for everyday tasks and it did not show any sign of slowing down even with heavy games. The display is sharp with great viewing angles. Battery life is another area where the smartphone shines and the phone went on for 18 hours and 32 minutes in our HD video loop test. The triple rear cameras of the Vivo Z1 Pro take photos with good color and detail. Even the photos that were taken in low light turned out to be good. However, photos taken with the wide-angle shooter came out much less crisp and over-processed. Vivo sells the Z1 Pro in three different variants in the country, which is 4GB of RAM with 64GB of storage, 6GB of RAM with 64GB of storage and 6GB of RAM with 128GB of inbuilt storage. You can get the first two variants of the smartphone in this price segment. Samsung's Galaxy M series came as a pleasant surprise earlier this year, and the lineup includes some pretty decent smartphones including the Galaxy M30s. In our review, we found the phone to be packing a good display that provides a pleasant experience. The Exynos 9611 SoC makes sure the phone is capable of handling everyday tasks with ease. On the camera front, the Galaxy M30s takes decent shots with average detail, but this drops when you switch to the wide-angle lens. Low light images taken with the smartphone lack detail and turned out grainy. However, the big highlight of the Galaxy M30s is its 6000 mAh battery, which easily lasts for 2 days with normal usage. It ran for 18 hours and 11 minutes in our HD video loop test. Samsung sells two variants of the Galaxy M30s in the country, which is 4GB of RAM with 64GB of storage and 6GB of RAM with 128GB of inbuilt storage. You can get the 4GB RAM variant in this price bracket. Oppo K1 was launched earlier this year with a price tag of 16,990 rupees and it can now be purchased for less than 15,000 rupees. In our review, we did not have any complaints regarding the smartphone's performance, including its ability to play heavy games. The phone's main camera is able to capture good detail in both close-up and landscape shots. However, its low-light imaging capabilities are average. The in-display fingerprint sensor is a highlight as this is one of the few phones within our budget to offer this feature. In our HD video loop test, this phone ran for 12 hours and 36 minutes, which is quite decent. Oppo sells only one variant of the Oppo K1 in India with 4GB of RAM and 64GB of inbuilt storage that you can buy for less than 15,000 rupees. And that was our list of the best phones that you can buy in India right now for less than 15,000 rupees. Hit the like button if you found this helpful and share this video with others. Thanks for watching.